this is interesting. You know, I wonder how that happens. Yeah, a lot of the reason, I think I'm doing what I'm doing. I have a lot of interesting stories. When I was a comedian, when I was a vigilante in particular. And it would be a shame for them stories to die with me. A lot of them were posted on Instagram when I was in it. Let's see what happens here. But, well, what? Well, I never. um, see, I want to share, my stories, not just because, they're entertaining and everything like that, but also because, there's a lot of lessons to be learned, but also they're kind of fun, you know. I want to, teach you about uh, things I've learned in life, and the way Jesus called me down this path, down former paths that I had, to the extent of Jesus' role. I don't think Jesus really cared for my time as a comedian. Most of it anyway. I did a lot of mockery of him back then, and I was really, really wrong. But, we're also here to have fun. Love. It's all about love, right? And, I guess there's going to be some violence in some of these games right here and all of that. But, I kind of figure I guess I'll be, only one of those. Ah, there it is. I kind of be playing the games, and then I'll be thinking of the thing to say. And I kind of wanted to get situated, but I saw that car like that, and I wanted to see what would happen, you know, if I tried to get in that car and drive it. And I'm glad I was recording when I did that. Uh, uh, okay, well, let's see. We're gonna have to come over here somewhere. These take some thinking, you know. Let's try this one. See what happens. Well, no, no. Uh, Ew. What about? Nope, nope, no, no, no.
Port authorities have confiscated a shipping container loaded with military-grade weapons worth millions of dollars. The shipment came
There's the
from
other
Central
piece.
Europe. Just how it got into the country isn't clear. Police say this is part of a larger sting operation, but wouldn't elaborate.
Interesting. Interesting. What was the other piece to that? Ah, okay. Well, I wonder if that's the camera right there. There it is. Reset all my QR codes too. Oh, I got a point to make about this arms in progress. See, now in this game, when you stop a crime in progress from ever happening, you prevent the criminal from ever making the attack. They call that a failure, but in my time as a vigilante, that was the most successful way a mission could go, is if the criminal didn't commit the crime. There was a lot of, oh, there he is. There was a lot of like pretending you weren't paying attention, like I'm doing now. Well, they killed him. Killed him, but I got the criminal, so at least I did half of it. Unfortunately, the victim died. I didn't get there fast enough, and that happens sometimes. And sometimes you feel really bad about the failure. Like in 2022, when I was trying to, stop them sweeps, former Mayor Hancock would do it. And was that a gang hideout? I think so. And I learned, after the first time, I learned to get there early. After the second time, I learned to get there a couple of days before the sweep and let the people living there know who you are and what you're doing. You know, I learned how to help people move. I learned how to help feed people. I learned how to, raise public awareness as to what was going on. And I did help a lot of people, and I inspired other people to help people. So even though I never did succeed at stopping a camp from being swept, nor did I die trying, which were the two criteria that I decided was what defined success. I did help a lot of people in the process of doing that, and that's what people were trying to tell me back then. And I learned later in the safer mission that we failed at preventing safer from being closed, but we succeeded at getting the model out in the public eye. And little other programs like Safer are opening up all over the country because we did that, because we talked about what the program was and why it worked. So even though we failed at what we were trying to do, we still succeeded. That's something that was much, much bigger. And that was something that I learned to see just because it was not what you were trying to do. Just because you failed at what you were trying to do doesn't mean that you failed. You may have succeeded in a bigger way than you would ever hope, you know. And it's just a matter of how you look at it, and what you figure out what you've accomplished. Oh, yeah, I gotta be careful if they come over here. I might have something to worry about. But for now, I think they're going over there. You know, games like this will define success in very specific ways. But in real life, success is not that simple. It really depends on how you see things, and on your perspective. You know, there are different ways to succeed. Some people consider success to be money or power. And I would argue that if you define success, money or power, then you probably already failed. You've either defined, you've either failed your goal or you've defined success in a way where you cannot experience the best things in life, like love and happiness. So they saw me. I gotta go. Maybe, let's find out. I think they see me, but I don't know. Uh-oh. I think they're calling for. Yep, I think he blew up. That was fortunate. That was lucky for me. He blew himself up before he was able to finish calling for reinforcements. Oh, they got me. I think they got me. Yeah, they got me.